Welcome to BetMGM Steelers Kickoff.
Good morning, everyone. No kickoff, but we're still here regardless. Welcome inside the KDKA studios for another edition of the Steelers Kickoff program. I'm Bob Pompeani, flanked by the quarterback of the program, Mr. Charlie Batch. Charlie, so let's talk about what happened on Thursday. It wasn't pretty, but the Steelers were able to get the job done on Thursday night against the Titans. What were some of your biggest takeaways from this game?
Yeah, for me, they didn't beat themselves, and that's something that when you go out there and ultimately play a complete game, or at least you hope to do that, and especially the question mark with Kenny Pickett coming into with his ribs, how was he going to put the football down the field and obviously execute? But they did a nice job of that. But the one concerning piece is the penalties, 10 penalties throughout the course of that game, and that's just something that they cannot do because it's very hard to overcome that.
Well, we saw a first quarter touchdown drive, which is something pretty rare. We also saw the game end on a touchdown drive in the fourth quarter. More of that coming up, but you know, plenty of ups and downs from the win over Tennessee this week. Rich Walsh was over there to cover this 20-16 win, and he has a look back on the primetime matchup in another edition of Steelers Monday.
It's primetime football.
The Steelers were looking for extra wattage Thursday night. JJ was in town to support his younger brother, and TJ rose up to the challenge.
He's bounced around, and Marker goes down, and he goes down as well, thanks to TJ Watt, whose helmet came off.
His arm's gonna be sore from waving that damn towel. Every time I looked up there, he was waving the towel, so.
JJ wasn't the only one waving the towel. Nearly 70,000 were on the edge of their seats from start to finish.
It's about that time for all three phases to put it together, and what better opportunity do we have on a Thursday night.
He waits, he fires a pass, it's pulled in at the 10-yard line by a leaping Deontay Johnson.
The Steelers put it all together. The offense started fast, something they haven't done yet this year.
Four-man rush, hands it off, cuts it back, and into the end zone. Comes Najee Harris for a 10-yard rushing touchdown, his second of the season.
It was big. We did what we were searching to do, all year with that opening drive, going down there and score.
Just being able to go out there, first drive of the game, and scoring the touchdown, I feel like that set the tone for the game.
The Steelers set the tone, but had to fight back, and that's when they're at their best.
He's back, throws that pass down the right sideline. The pass is pulled in. That is Deontay Johnson getting behind a defender.
We've been practicing those type of plays all year.
Deontay Johnson wide open. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. The Steelers marching 92 yards to take the lead.
That's Deontay Johnson's first touchdown in what, a couple seasons?
Yes.
It was great. It was awesome. Obviously, it was a big deal to get him in the end zone. It's been too long for sure. So, to see that smile on his face after that was great.
And the Steelers' defense prevented the Titans from finding any balance, especially when the game was hanging in the balance.
He looks, he fires for the intercepted, and that is Quan Alexander.
Just reading the quarterback and just making plays.
Feeling that they were going to come that way?
Yeah, because they just had ran the same play, and he threw it and he dropped it, but I seen how the tight end released, so I knew he was coming behind me, so I just set up under it. So just preparation and studying, man, just knowing what to do.
And now the victory formation from the 20. Pickett takes the knee, and that's the end of the ball game.
5-3, 3-1 in the second quarter of the season. Now we're rolling into November, where very, very important football is about to begin.
The margin for error is so small at this level between winning and losing. And the fact that we continue to find ways to win, I think, is a huge advantage to us. And like I said, no one panics down the stretch. We all are confident in each other, and we go out there and play hard.
And now, the Steelers have a chance to rest hard on a special Friday edition of Steelers Monday.
All right, Rich, thanks very much. So here are the AFC North standings at this point. Week 9, the Ravens still on top 5-2. They have a tough matchup with the NFC West leading Seattle Seahawks today. The Steelers move ahead of Cleveland. They play 1-7 Arizona today. And watch out for the Bengals quickly making their way back into the picture, although they have a tough game tonight at home against Buffalo. So Charlie, Kenny Pickett once again looked sharp on the first drive but still had some issues really in the middle stages of this entire game. Missing open receivers, it's been a problem in recent weeks, continues to be one. So why can't people see the fourth quarter Kenny Pickett in the first 3 quarters of Kenny Pickett?
And I think everybody wants to know that, but I think ultimately different circumstances happen because if you're down in ball games, you're throwing it a lot more. But I think there were opportunities throughout the course of that game. There was an open curl route to Deontay Johnson that he missed early in the game. There was a crossing route to George Pickens that he just needs to set his feet and make those throws. But there are always throws throughout the course of a game that you would like back, but he did enough in this game. And what I like is the poise as you enter into the fourth quarter that this team believes that he's going to get it done in 7 fourth-quarter comebacks. And this is something that continue to add to his resume.
He's got that clutch gene for sure. All right, Thursday's game against Tennessee also served as a Steelers salute to service night, and we wanted to offer our own salute here on KDKA by honoring some of our nation's finest who have put their lives on the line for this country every single day of their lives. Najee Harris actually got a jump on that during the summer. You know, right before training camp, Najee visited an Air Force base and some of the troops in Pensacola, Florida. He visited the first Special Operations Wing of the United States Air Force, who gave him a tour of their facility and an up-close look at the airplanes, the equipment. It was a big-time tour. Many men and women who serve our country at air bases like this one all around the world are big Steeler fans. So today, throughout today's program, we're going to give them a chance to send a message to their favorite football team. So before we head to break, here is our first installment.
This is Staff Sergeant Jordan Glass, currently deployed with the 143rd Expeditionary Sustainment Command in Camp Arifjan, Kuwait. I just want to give a big shout out to my favorite team, Pittsburgh Steelers. Woo! Go Steelers!
Hey y'all, this is Second Lieutenant A.J. Houlihan, stationed off at Air Force Base. Want to give a shout out to the Steelers. Here we go.
Welcome back to BetMGM Steelers Kickoff.
David Payton, U.S. Transcom. And I'd like to give a shout out to the greatest team there is, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Whoa!
Hi, I'm First Lieutenant Amanda Curcio. I'm with the 39th IBCT, currently stationed in Grafenwehr, Germany. I'd like to give a shout out to my husband Joel, my dad, and the rest of my family back in Pittsburgh. Go Steelers.
All right, welcome back as we continue to hear some of the shout-outs from Steeler fans in the military during the NFL's Salute to Service campaign all this month. And now it's time to talk about sacks. And the Steelers were busy once again in that category on Thursday night against Tennessee. They've now earned 36 sacks to start the season. That goes all the way back to the preseason. Bordas & Bordas is donating $500 for every quarterback takedown. All part of the Sacks for Kids campaign. Donations now have reached $18,000. Thank you, Bordas & Bordas. So, Charlie, the pass rush very evident against Tennessee and Will Levis. Take a look at some of the numbers from the edge rusher position here. And how about the defense? It goes really as this pass rush goes. There's no doubt about that one. Thursday night showed why it was so important to give Alex Highsmith an extension, as he's part of this now dynamic duo at the edge, causing headaches for the Titans. The two, Highsmith and Watt, teamed up for 8 total tackles, 3 sacks, 7 quarterback hits, keeping Will Levis pretty much in check for most of this game. Charlie, can they sustain this sort of elite defense for the rest of the season? It's hard to do, but can they do it?
It is hard, but they absolutely can. And these guys are feeding off of each other. They understand where if one person's running deep, the other one's coming back in to try to pin the quarterback in. And they're taking as a challenge because they know one of those two are going to be double teamed. Whoever gets a single one-on-one, they have to go out there and make a play, and both of those guys are doing it. 2 sacks by Alex Highsmith, 1 sack by T.J. Watt there, and those things are continuing to be impressed, and that's why they're one of the top tandems in the league.
Without a helmet, no less. Just like his brother J.J. once did when he was with Arizona. All right, now it's time to talk about Charlie Batch and his big community event. It's coming up. In the Pocket is back Thursday night. Tell us about it.
Yes, we are inching closer to our In the Pocket event, our pool, poker, ping pong event. Come out, join us, play one of those events against local celebrities, and we are, help us close the educational gap due to the pandemic. And these are programs that benefits our STEAM programs along with our after-school programs. And please, you can go to batchfoundation.org to learn more information, or you can go to look at the QR code on the screen. So we're super excited, and we are looking forward to seeing everybody this Thursday night.
Get a chance to take on Charlie Batch in ping pong. Can't miss that opportunity. It's all for a great cause Thursday night. All right, coming up, Steelers insider Gerry Dulac talks with Rich Walsh about some of the headlines from the Titans' win. Keep it right here on KDKA TV.
BetMGM Steelers Kickoff is presented in part by your Western PA Chevy dealers.
Shamari Bruins from Camp K, Poland. Shout out to my family. Let's go Pittsburgh Steelers. Master Sergeant Jeff Andrzejczyk from RAF Alconbury in England. I just want to give a shout out to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Go Steelers Nation.
Hi, Lieutenant Colonel Will Griffin, United States Transportation Command. Go Steelers! Yeah!
They're everywhere, all over the country. Some more great shout-outs from our troops overseas supporting the Steelers during Military Appreciation Month, and we appreciate you. Welcome back to Steelers Kickoff. Now it's time to discuss a lot of stuff that went on in that Tennessee win. We've reached the midway point of the season. Here to do that, Rich Walsh and our Steelers insider, Gerry Dulac of the Post-Gazette.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. The offense finally got things going early on. Deontay Johnson played a big part in the Steelers' offense Thursday against the Titans, but it didn't look like George Pickens was too happy. 5 targets, 2 catches, -1 yards. I mean, is this starting to become a distraction, George Pickens?
I don't know that that's the case. Obviously, it keeps up. They certainly wouldn't want it. But, you know, what the Steelers need to do, what Man Canada needs to do, Rich, is they have to scheme to get him open more. They can't just rely on him trying to get through double coverage on the sideline. They have to find ways where they can single him up and get him open, and they're not doing that right now, and that to me is the biggest problem, why he is not getting the targets that he probably needs.
Yeah, I love the emotions, but he has to realize that he's helping the team whether he catches the ball or not, you know, getting coverage off Deontay Johnson. One guy I do want to ask you about is Broderick Jones. He's been practicing at left tackle all year, had 1 start at left tackle, but all of a sudden Tuesday they said he's going to start at right tackle. How did that all unfold?
Well, Rich, what happened is they did not like the performance of Chukwuezekorfor on Sunday against Jacksonville. He had a bad performance, and it looked even worse on film. You know, Broderick Jones has played very little on the right side. We've seen very little times where he's even practiced there. You could probably count it on one hand. But they wanted to get him in the game at some point, and it was based on a poor performance by Chooks. And I think what I've been told is it's, quote, trending in that direction that he's going to stay there.
So you might see him against the Packers.
That is correct.
Next Sunday. All right, another rookie, Joey Porter Jr. Is he going to be the starter the rest of the season?
Rich, I find it odd that for 5 games, 6 weeks, all we talked about is where's Joey Porter Jr. He finally starts against Jacksonville, and now all of a sudden he's a shutdown corner. We saw him following DeAndre Hopkins all around the field the other night. That goes to show the confidence they have in this guy. So to me, that's fine that you have that in him because he's that kind of player. What took you so long? But he's there, and he's going to stay there.
Well, the Steelers get back Cam Hayward, but a big loss for that Steelers defense inside Cole Holcomb. You know, how do they replace him? Because he's the guy that kind of runs his defense.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. He wears the green dot. He's a 3-down linebacker. When Mike Tomlin said the other day after the game that it was a significant injury, for him to say that, you know it's bad. They're just going to assume they know it's season ending. They will put him on IR, and it will be an opportunity now for Mark Robinson to get into the game. Won't play as much, of course. He won't replace Cole Holcomb, but he will now be part of that rotation that they use on the inside with 3 guys.
Yeah, and Quan Alexander made the biggest play of the game Thursday against the Titans. As always, thanks a lot, Jerry. Great stuff. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks very much, Jerry Rich. And now it's time to send this program to New York City. James Brown is standing by with a look at what's yet to come on the NFL Today on KDKA. JB?
Hey, Bob, up next on the NFL Today, we'll preview an interconference showdown when Lamar and the Ravens host the Seattle Seahawks. Then Nate's guy, Cal Brandt, taps in to encourage some squads to not tap out. And we'll go behind the scenes to kick it with Geno Smith and Tyler Lockett. That's before your Hall of Fame coach, Bill Cowher, breaks down the tape on the top-ranked Baltimore D. But first, Coach's Guys. Bob and Charlie, they'll return when Steelers Kickoff continues here on KDKA.
Welcome back to BetMGM Steelers Kickoff.
Hi, I'm Major Micah Klein, assigned to the headquarters United States Transportation Command, Scott Air Force Base, from Swickley, Pennsylvania. Go Steelers!
What's going on? I'm Specialist Austin Robertson, stationed on Fort Liberty, North Carolina. I want to give a shout out to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Go Steelers!
Our thanks to all past and present military personnel who may be watching today's show. We thank you very much. We're honored to have you as viewers. And speaking of honored, there were 4 former Steeler players welcomed into the newest class of the Steelers Hall of Honor last week. It was a big occasion, and the first was Ray Mansfield, who was a stalwart on the offensive line from 1964 through 76. He started at center for the first 2 of those 4 Super Bowl championships that decade. His line mate Jerry Moon Mullins also inducted. Mullins started at guard and won 4 Super Bowl rings during the 1970s. And then 2 players from the modern era of Steelers football made it in. Defensive end Aaron Smith, a linchpin of those great Steeler defenses in the mid-2000s. And then there was, of course, James Harrison, who entered the league as an undrafted free agent and went on to become the league's Defensive Player of the Year in 2008. Harrison, of course, also responsible for what may be the greatest play in Super Bowl history, a 100-yard interception return for a touchdown against Arizona. Steelers TV's Rob King had a chance to sit down with a man called Debo one-on-one when he was in town last weekend.
Please welcome 2023 Hall of Honor inductee, James Harrison.
Do your thing. Do your thing.
Your NFL career is a study in perseverance. I mean, you talked about having to walk on at Kent and then not necessarily, having immediate success in the NFL. What was it like for you? Why did you stick with it, on and off practice squads and playing in Europe and all these different things?
For me, I like playing football. When I first started playing football, it was just the opportunity to play with my friends. And from that, it was, colleges, they're willing to pay for your education. And then I got into college, and during my senior year, it was teams that, wanted me to work out. You do your pro day and all that stuff. And it was like, you could get paid to actually do this. So when I, got to Pittsburgh, to be honest, I didn't give 100% effort in my first year or 2. I gave enough to make it through. But once I was able to sit down and actually, have people to take time to actually say, hey, this is what you need to do. And I didn't feel like, I was being talked at, I was being coached too. It was easy for me.
Well, you talk about your place in Steelers history, deserved right in the middle of it. The Pro Bowls, the Defensive Player of the Year, and the author of maybe the greatest play in Super Bowl history?
The greatest play in Super Bowl history. Let's get it right.
No, maybe.
Start that over.
They're back. He throws the pass. Picked off. James Harrison has it. He's running up the sideline.
That whole half, I felt like we were getting there just step too late. We'd hit him just as he threw the ball. Coach LeBeau called all-out blitz on that play. I believe it was 6-1 blitz 0. My job is to obviously blitz, but the biggest thing is I need to get this tackle to step at me and take me so that Timmons, who's blitzing on my inside, can have a free run to the quarterback. He's the one that would have a free shot. So I'm like, you know what? I think he's going to see it, and he's going to get the ball out in time. So I'm going to play for the quick slant in, and hopefully I'm able to, knock the ball down. That's really what I'm thinking. And, I do that part. I step, tackle steps at me. Timmons comes free. And later on, Kurt would say that, he was looking at me. He saw me step. So as soon as he saw me step, he knew it was an all-out blitz. And he's just looking now to get rid of the ball. He throws the ball. And I'm like, oh, my God. So the rest of it is just, it's a whole defense, all 10 guys, putting every ounce of effort that they had left in that, that last part of that half to, help me get down there and score.
That is the biggest play of this football game.
So you're in the Hall of Honor. Mm-hmm. What does that mean to you?
To be honest with you, man, I don't have the words to express what it means. It's just, I'm just extremely honored and just humbled to be a part of a group of men that is what a Pittsburgh Steelers is defined as, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just extremely thankful, man.
Our thanks to Steelers TV and Rob King, who made his Steelers kickoff debut right here. Thanks, Rob. Charlotte, there was a period of time when Harrison was the most dominant player in the NFL. We know that. Does he deserve consideration for the Pro Football Hall of Fame? I say yes.
I agree with you. I say yes as well. But when you talk to James, he's like, I don't know if my numbers are quite there, but that's just him being humble. But you know how hard he worked. And when you just see, obviously, the body of work over the years, and what I love about his speech, he talked about his family. He became emotional, but he also thanked Ben Roethlisberger. And everybody wondering why he's thanking Ben Roethlisberger, because he says, if people, the scouts were not there your junior year and I was able to sack you 5 times, I would have not been on anybody's radar. So everybody was just like, wow, didn't think about it from that perspective, but he was just like, thank you for that opportunity. But congratulations to James Harrison for your honor.
And all 4 of those guys, absolutely. Tremendous job. Almost out of time. Coming up, Charlie's going to tell us his keys to the second half of the season as we head into week number 10. Stay around, it's next.
BetMGM Steelers Kickoff is presented in part by your Western PA Chevy dealers.
8 games down, 9 to go. Charlie, what do the Steelers have to do in these next 9?
Yeah, obviously stay as healthy as possible, and then from there, look at it as a 5-game stretch before that mini bye week after that Thursday night game. They do that, I think they'll set themselves up for an important end of the season run.
And then it all starts with Green Bay next Sunday. We'll get you ready for that next Sunday morning at 11:30 a.m. As far as today, the NFL Today is next, followed by Seattle and Baltimore. A big game with, of course, impact for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We will have the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown. That's tonight at 11:35 on KDKA on time. It's going to do it for us. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next Sunday as the Steelers get ready for the Green Bay Packers.